Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party and my buddy Rhett. Hey Rhett, and we got a nut for Rhett. Let's do the nut thing. There you go, girl. And then it is, let's do our time 8:02, the last day of April. We made it. If your job situation is anything like mine, today's the last day of your pay period. So you have to save do your timesheet and sign it so that you can get paid whenever it is you get paid. According to my little left hand corner thing, it is humid outside. So humid now. It's not telling me my time or temperature. It's definitely still not giving me any useful information. It's kind of funny how it started off giving me really useful information and now it doesn't give me useful information over there. It seems like if I talk for 15, 20 minutes, I'll look over there. My guess is it is 64 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It is full, the sun is up and running, and that is that. So we got Cypress working, and yesterday I was, let's go ahead and let's do it again. npm run Cypress :open. And I was concerned yesterday about, let's go into our Cypress thing, about this weird white line that just suddenly started showing up. And I did, when I rewatched the video, because I really do rewatch these videos, I saw that this resize, so weird. Why does it not care? Oh no, okay, now it's complaining. Now that'll be red as well. Okay. The resize, it did not start until I'd started doing these selections. And then that's when things kind of went sideways. That's when we started getting white lines. So let's go to our configured. I do like this tool a lot. I think, yeah, it's just really a good tool. I guess that's not too bad. Chrome is being controlled by automated software. All right, so it was really bugging me yesterday that a white line was appearing. And when I was watching the video, I was like, wait, I'm not seeing a white line. And then suddenly it started appearing, and it was, I guess this is how Cypress tells you. And now we aren't getting the white line. Let's rewrite. Or did it already? So I guess because the time is so short now, you don't see it. Let's go ahead and change our time. We have a variable up here. Wait time 1000. So that's going to be 1 second in between. I think I'm probably going to, for my video, probably make it 2 seconds. And it would be good if the video was probably like my sort of promotional, self-promoting video. If that video, oh, and then it redraws. So the white line does not seem to be appearing anymore. So maybe that was just a thing because it was brand new, because that is gone. So what I was gonna do was move this selection to the very end, but it doesn't look like I need it anymore, because that was annoying the heck out of me. Yeah, no white line anymore. We were getting a little white line in yesterday's video right around here, right at the beginning. Let me make it like 3 seconds. Yeah, I want to make like a self-promoting video in hopes of sort of getting a position as a QA somewhere. I probably want to kind of just show up in like YouTube Shorts and in TikTok and LinkedIn. I guess LinkedIn probably is a little bit better for longer form videos, but some quick video on LinkedIn that just kind of shows the power of Cypress, and that probably 8 to 30 seconds is probably about the ideal time for those sorts of videos. It's kind of cool. I just noticed this 16 for the first time. 16 matched elements, 16 matched elements, 16 matched elements, 16 matched elements. That is really interesting. So I guess the whole thing took 11 seconds. It's got the time up there. That's pretty cool because, like, if on a video, then you can see where everything, where you were. You know, if you had this in video, and you could, you know, freeze and see, oh, okay, at this many seconds, this happened. I suspect this is a little bit more useful in, like, on a full text, like a text type thing. But anyway, so I think that is good. Like I said, I was going to kind of move things around to avoid that white line from showing up, but the white line is no longer showing up, so all's well that ends well. Another thing I noticed today for the first time is, let me see if I can kill this, is that I can't believe this is the first time I noticed it, but I noticed this outline here. And so if I go into my sources and I go to my app, and let's say I go to my interfaces and I go to my visualization interface. See, we see everything that's in visualization. If I go to one of my services, let's say I go to my utility service, go to my hash service, it kind of tells me everything. That's pretty useful. I never really noticed that before either. I don't know what timeline is. So that's pretty interesting. It tells me one thing, the timeline on this specific file. That's pretty cool. I don't know how useful that is in a production environment where everything is probably, the timeline is mostly around. So what if I don't want to screw anything up. What if I click that? Oh, that's cool. It actually seems to have a history of. Oh, wow, look at that. So I had named it, and then I added get there. That was my change. Then here, I don't know what that is. And then I guess this was a commit 3 days ago. So that timeline thing is pretty cool too. It's neato. I do like that outline a lot. I guess you have to click on it to actually get it to populate. So anyways, so I thought, okay, today I'm going to start adding my little whatever. It's either going to be 3 dots like this or a hamburger. I'm not sure exactly which one I should do. I think they're both very similar, but and I don't know exactly. Let's ask ChatGPT what the difference is. That is not, spoiler alert, that is not what I'm going to work on today, but on UIs, sometimes I see a hamburger icon in the upper right. And sometimes I see 3 vertical dots. Are these identical? Or is there question mark? Great question. They are not at least in the terms of established UI commit. Opens a navigation, combination, toggle, slide down drawer, usually for main apps. Typical top left. So I think these things probably should be on the top left. And that was something that I had learned like back in the 90s. And it's because sometimes your right, if it's too narrow, can be off the screen. But I feel like there have been technical advances where that is extraordinarily unlikely and very rare. So Vertical ellipses opens an overflow. Oh, with actions. Oh, okay, so actions or settings. When they, okay, so I probably do want the 3 vertical ellipses. So I want the icon to allow users to add a visualization. Would that be a hamburger or a vert ellipse? Yeah, see that? Okay. Yeah. Well, right now, I think I'll let it. Other. Yeah, see, so if that was all it was ever going to be, I think the plus, it's exactly right. The plus would be the right thing to put up there. So you'd have a little plus, and boom, it would show up. Boom, boom, boom. But I do think that eventually I'm going to have like this, and there'll be some other thing, like maybe background color, import mesh, things like that. So I do think there's going to be more things that come. But I think it's absolutely right. If that was all that was ever going to be there, then that would have been the right move. But with that being said, so I thought I was going to start with that. That is not what I'm going to start with, and it's because something that's been sort of bugging me behind the scenes is that, like, these are cool, right? And then when I get all the primitives, that's going to be really cool. And then I think it's going to be fine. This layout will be fine when you can import like STLs or export STLs or import things. What else? I don't know, other types of 3D things that you want to come in, or if you want to export them. Like, I think this layout works perfectly. But there is another sort of thing that is going to come that is critical, I think, to having something something I'm really going to want in the future. And no, it's something I can't figure out. Are they? I think there was a point where, like, every time it was additive, these would just get faster and faster. But I think they are identical now. Maybe not. I don't know. But oh yeah, that'll be another thing we'll probably want, is like a timing controller where I can, freeze it and then move it over and see what everything is doing. There's going to be a lot of things, but also be able to upload media. Like the skins, like the surfaces for the skins, possibly fonts. What else? Images, like photos and stuff. Maybe you want one of these that rotates and has like 6 photos that it's rendering. Just all kinds of stuff, right? And if that is really going to have to be like in a zip file. And so there's got to have to be something that is above the right now visualizations are highest level thing, right? A visualization, I guess we can look at this, has a visualization ID, it has a renderer ID, it has a viz component, and then the renderer has a scene in it, and a camera in it, so I don't have visualization, but I need something that would have the list of like the list of visualizations, and not just the list of visualizations, but also like I want there to be able to be a mesh that isn't currently being used by any visualization. So, so a list of all the meshes. It wouldn't actually be a list of all the meshes because all meshes would exist inside of the mesh. Let's see, st. Like inside of here, we have a list, I believe. If I click on this st mesh, I guess we want to go to the services. St mesh service. And see, we have a mesh dictionary, and that's going to have every mesh in it, even whether it's part of a um, a visualization or not. Well, how would I ever navigate to it? In a reasonable, kind of thoughtful way. So I think what I need is, and I can't think of anything a better name for it, is an application interface. And right now, and that's the other thing is like I need something probably that's going to have like the state of, because I think there's going to be two states that this can be rendered in. One is a viewable state in which everybody's hidden except for the one that's being, or editing state. So except for the one that's being editing, and the one that's being editing is taking half the screen, and the editor stuff is taking half the screen. So I think that, like what view we're in and all that, that would be at that app thing. And then I guess I would be able to export to a zip, which would have everything in it, and import from a zip. So if I imported from the zip, I would, have the whole thing. And that's like another thing is like, I will probably want a UI layout where you have a whole visualization that is like maybe like 800 by 800, and then 200 by 200, a different visualization that's visualizing in the quarter by 200 by 200. So like, for example, let's say I inspect this, and let's say I think I could probably make its width 100 by 100. And then let's see, I take this guy, make his width. I want to make his specific width. I don't want, not word wrap. Width. And make his height. Guess I hit tab. All right, so now I've got that little guy up there, and then let's say I make he's absolutely positioned so he can go anywhere. And control escape. Let's escape out of that. And tab. And then say left. See, not. Oh, I guess it's this guy. His position. So let's say left is 300 px. Oh. I guess he's got a lower, and top is, let's say, I don't know why I can't escape 100 px, and then I think I can make this z index 100. Okay, so you notice like this guy, so let's see, let's go back down to here, make this thing's Let's make it 50 instead of 100. Did it not work? 50. Doesn't seem like it's working. That, let's see. Oh, okay, so it's still showing that. Maybe if I make its background transparent. I don't know why this is still showing. But anyways, you can kind of see the point is that you can kind of see like another one under it. And so like I could imagine having two cameras with the exact same scene and one showing one thing, and then on the lower half you're seeing like the top of it or something like that. And that would be like something that would be, sort of defined. Well, I don't know. That's we don't have a specific container that could contain all that information. So that would be at the application level. So I think I need to create a new application, not a new application, and I'm not exactly sure exactly how it's going to be used, but I do want it to contain basically a link, a list of a dictionary, I guess, of all the all of the where are you? Oh no, these aren't STs. These are, let's go back up to the interfaces, all of the visualizations. So basically it was just going to have a dictionary of visualizations, and then you can get it on all that. It would also have like the edit mode, whether all that you can, whether you can create a edit. So and then I guess I don't know how visualizations get. Oh, so visualizations are automatically created in the app right now. So yeah, create and animate renderers. So let's look in there. Go to. I think I want to go to the implementation. So create renderer. And what is when we create the renderer, go to implementation. I don't know when we create let me hit this thing back here. At some point we create an actual visualization. And I have no idea when we create those things. So we have two commented out things here. A renderer has a visualization. We have ST visualization. Okay, that's just the thing, and then that's a spec. Our animation service takes a visualization. Our visualization service. Okay, that's a unit test. We have our visualization service. So when do we create a visualization? In app. Create visualization. Okay, so we call setup visualizations. So anyways, this would be the point, I think, where we would add it to our app. Okay, so after the init, we go ahead and we create our visualizations. Go to definition, and then we get all of our existing components, viz components, and then that's how we set them up. So this would also be where we would set as initialized, and then probably right in the next one is we would add it to the applications dictionary. So the applications dictionary would have a reference. So if we needed to just go through all the visualizations at some point in the future in some other code, it could just go to the app and say, hey, get me all the visualizations, or get me a visualization by ID, stuff like that. So I think we're going to need that even when we're trying to edit, we're going to need to be able to say, okay, I have a visualization ID, I would like to get it so that I can put it in here, and then because that visualization during editing will need to be sort of manipulated. And so I think it makes sense. I don't know. I'm a little I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not 100% sure on this. I just trying to figure this out. So let's go. So that was sort of a kind of a thinking, okay, what am I going to do in the future? How is this all going to work out? And now I'm going to so I was sort of looking at 30,000 feet. Now I'm going to go right back down to the ground level, and what do I do first? So I kind of have a vague idea of what I want to do on a broad scale. So now I want to narrow down and say, okay, what is the first step? I've got a marathon in front of me. What is the first step of the marathon? And the first step of the marathon is to create a package, something in my packages folder. And one of the things I almost always do whenever I go into packages, I've noticed that this is a pattern that I almost always do. I always close others. This seems to be the best time to sort of do some tab maintenance, I guess. Tab curation. Curate my tab situation. So it is interesting. So like as I noticed that like if you go to the early ones, everything's very low level. And then like as we get higher later, it seems like I'm going higher and higher up the chain. So I kind of started at sort of an atomic. So kind of like the way, so normally I think when you write software, we generally like to kind of think of like the overall blueprint and then sort of build that out and slowly build the things out. But like in life and everything, it tends to be the other way around, right? We tend to start, our life tends to start at like a single molecule or single atom and slowly just keep growing up. And that kind of seems to be what I'm doing, which is probably like a sign that you don't really know what you're doing, right? Like that you're trying to figure out what to do, as opposed to, oh, I know what I'm doing. So like if you're going to build a car, you know exactly all the pieces of the car that you're going to build out. But if you're going to build, let's say I don't know, a new game, you were like, oh, we're going to design a new game to play. You probably would start off with like the smaller parts, like oh, our new game should have a ball. Yeah, we definitely want to have a ball. And it should also have a frisbee. You're starting at the most base parts, and then you start to figure out, well, how big should it be, and how many the playing area should that be, and should it have out of bounds or not? Like, and you work your way up. And I guess that's kind of the place I'm at, because I don't, I have a pretty good understanding of ThreeJS, but it's not a great understanding. And the other thing is, I really want to have a physics engine in here, and we haven't even begun down that path. But anyways, so this thing is going to be called application. I don't know if that's the right word for it. This is literally the first time I've ever done something like that, created an application. and we're going to do ng, and we're going to generate, and we're going to generate a interface. So it's kind of weird because it's just probably going to pretty much create equivalent of an empty file. I think it'll have like the name of it up there, and then application. And then, so I always hit save at this point, and then I come up here and I just imagine. So what I want it to have is, so let's find another interface. Okay, so I missed one thing. And then interfaces. So I must have seen that somewhere, or I guess it popped up. So, and yeah, so we want it to be ST because this is definitely only an ST. And then okay, so application and then slash ST application. And I think that is a big reason I do this, is so that I can sort of look at what I did in the past easily. Like I don't, otherwise it's just lost. It's just ephemeral, as a lot of people like to call it. It's something that I did, and then it might be it would just be gone, right? So, you don't really get to capture that pattern. But in me, I was able to look up and see, oh, okay, let me add these couple things. Okay, so now what I want to see is in here, I want to see a new folder called application, which makes sense. These are all individual, even though these are all plural, there's animations and all that. Application, I think, makes sense. And then I expect to see a sibling, and then inside of it to have that. And then and then I have an index, so I'll need to update this one manually. So let me hit back. Yeah. So now I can run it, npm run. And, I'm probably, if you've watched any of my previous videos before, there are a couple of reasons I do this. First reason is what we just saw. Like I have the ability to look up and see what I did in the past, so that I kind of have footprints or breadcrumbs, something to follow. Secondary is when you run it this way, you're 100% sure that it's using the resources of the project, not some global resources or some other thing. When you say npm run and you run a script in that, it always uses, at least has always historically used, everything from in here. So it's going to use everything from this node modules. It's not going to use anything outside of that node modules. So application. And then I guess I should add an I application. So let me hit save. And change this to I. And then just imagine, wait a second. Oh my gosh, I almost made a horrible mistake here. Let me undo this. I need to commit what I have. Okay, so that was crazy. That would have been a bad move. Okay, so platform, I can think it all makes sense. I don't know what changed. I guess I got, oh yeah, I guess I had to change all of these, or maybe I moved them. I don't know exactly what happened. Oh, I renamed them so that they would show up in the right order. And app, that looks good. I cannot believe I was about to really screw up. And then platform spec. Okay. And this is super important because git status. Okay, I think I want everything. Git add. Let's just take a quick look. Deleted, deleted, modified, 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 and these are the new things. Yeah, that all makes sense. Git status. Hit commit -m implements auto redraw on resize. Man, I cannot believe I was about to do that. That was about to be a terrible mistake. Get pushed. I mean, not like end of the world sort of mistake, but I would have very much been very sad in a week when I figured out that I don't have a clean commit for resizing. So now we have a commit that is all that it's pushed. If you want it, have it. It is at, let's see, I think this will tell us. GitHub, Marty, the party, space time, and in the getting started branch. So right there, GitHub, Marty, the party, https://github.com, Marty, the party, space, and time.git. Getting started branch on April 30th. Last day of April. Now, there's two more. So I'm going to add this app thing and all that. And I feel like that definitely falls under the getting started thing because it is the initial architecture. I'm hoping not to be making architecture changes after this getting started branch. And then we're going to add the vertical ellipses. And we are going to add the ability to add and delete visualizations, and we're going to also, and then we're going to also add, and I guess no, and then that will be it for getting started, and then the next branch will be for import export, and really all it's going to be is like you double click on this. Maybe when you click on this and then you can say edit, and then basically it'll take the top 50%. So this will take over the top 50% of the screen, and all the rest of these will hide, and then the bottom 50%, at least at first, is just going to be like a text box that with the JSON in it that describes this thing, and then you can tweak that JSON however you want, and you could also copy that JSON and put it into Visual Studio or whatever you want, do whatever manipulations you want, and paste it back in, and then it'll do validations and all that. So that's going to be kind of a sort of a big thing too, like setting up the validations and all that. And the other thing that I was thinking of that I didn't mention was when I do, I think even now, like if you look at, is it animations? Yeah, see where I have these aliases and stuff, these path aliases, alias type, and then temporal types. So at some point I'm going to have to add like, and I thought I had already done it, but I guess not. All I have is like what types of things, but somehow I have to describe. Let me go to the animation service. Yeah, see, we describe a whole path of that. So when we go, let's go to the app component. This, the reason I'm like sort of fixated on this is because this, I think, is one of the things that just killed the last application. And that was that trying to communicate where a change was, and like there was just so many different things that like would describe something, describe a property, and I needed a way to consistently describe things. So it was like, okay, this is the description of it, oh, this is the label of it, this is the a list of different validations for that. This is, there was just like all these different things. So I needed this consistent way, and I didn't do that. And so you see that I have like, let's see, when we set these up, and we're just hard coding these things, but we see that mesh animation service, add animation. So let's go to add animation. So we create this alias temporal time. Let's see. So this path is, it takes these two properties, right? So update property for animation. And so it takes this, so it takes the animation element and it splits it up 3 ways. So now let's hit back. Back again. So right now we have that it's a mesh, a rotation, and the Y. So we're rotating a mesh. The name of the property is rotation and it's Y, but it really needs to be more like that it's application dash visualization, like where it lives, because there's going to be other, like, there's going to be other things, like there's going to be light and an X, there's going to be mesh dash position dash X. I would probably like to be able to animate the actual whole visualization. So visualize, so, I need like a way to consistently and guarantee a way to describe an attribute. And I guess maybe mesh is good enough, because then it would be like visualization X left, visualization top. And I guess that would be good. Yeah, maybe this is good enough. I guess I put enough thought into this. So I was thinking, oh, this breaks this entire thing, but no, I don't think I'll ever want to animate the entire app, but maybe like this might be neat to have it do something, maybe we would have an animation that would say, show each one of these in a 400 by 400 in the front for 1 second, and then go to the next one, and then go to the next one, or something like that. But anyways, I guess it is 8:46. Okay, so tomorrow what I really want to get done is setting up our application interface, and possibly the application service that will keep track of all the visualizations at this moment. That's really all it does. It's going to have more stuff in the future. And then, so tomorrow is Thursday, and the 1st of May, and then and then Friday, I guess we'll probably do more with that, because we service, I guess that would be, now I get, yeah, we'll probably, what I just said will probably be enough to keep me busy till Friday. Then Saturday morning, I definitely want to make my video, hey, I would be a great QA video. Something that will, like, this is just not something recruiters want to see. They don't want to see a video of some dude just hacking away. So, something that would be a little bit more for recruiters and possibly hiring managers, that kind of thing. And then the next thing after that is, then yeah, to start the vertical ellipses. And then, are they called vertical ellipses? Yeah, why are they called ellipses? That's weird. But yeah, the vertical ellipses, and with a button that basically does that. And I guess we'll just leave animate this function as is, so it will animate them as they come in. Um, I don't know if we'll have to recall that every time or something. I don't know. But if this gets called every time, I think that's why they're all identical now, is because this only gets called once. Before, what was happening is I was calling it over and over again every time. It would roll out 4 of these, and then I would call it again and all that. But this does show like kind of what I was hoping to. See, all of these are identical, so they're all operating. They're all they're not they're all operating on the exact same time scheme. So because I set up a timer, and so 0 for this one is 0 for this one is 0 for this one. 1 second is the same. They're all synchronized on the exact same thing. Um, so, but I guess we still haven't proved it because they were all created pretty much at the exact same time. Before, they were created at different times, but they had um, different time periods. I mean, they had different paces. Some of them were getting double and triple and quadruple animated. Um, but anyway, so yeah, that'll be good once we get that where you can add, and then we'll have to add where when you click on this, it gets focus, and when it has focus, it has a little, like a frame around it with a like a menu with a little X or something. Probably another triple vertical ellipse, and you can click it, and the only choice you'll have is delete, and then you can delete it, and then you can add one, and then also we'll add, like, if you try to add more than 16, it'll give you a little like pop-up message that says the browser limitation is 16, please delete one before you add one. And that will be that, and it is 8:50, so I've got a big day of work ahead of me. So everybody, happy coding, have a wonderful day. Bye.